We'll now take a couple questions each. Reuters, Andrea, you got the first question.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Chancellor Scholz. Mr. President, I have wanted to ask you about this Nord Stream project that you've long opposed. You didn't mention it just now by name, nor did Chancellor Scholz. Did you receive assurances from Chancellor Scholz today that Germany will, in fact, pull the plug on this project if Russia invades Ukraine? And did you discuss what the definition of invasion could be? And then Chancellor Scholz, wenn ich Sie fragen darf,
if I may ask you, Chancellor Scholz, you said there was some strategic ambiguity that was needed in terms of sanctions. I just wanted to know whether the sanctions you are envisaging and the EU is working on, and the US as well, are already finished, finalized, or is there still work ongoing? And you're not really saying what the details are. Is that just an excuse for Germany maybe to not support the SWIFT measures?
Let me answer the first question first. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Thank you very much for your question. I want to be absolutely clear. We have intensively prepared everything to be ready with the necessary sanctions if there is a military aggression against Ukraine. And this is necessary. It is necessary that we do this in advance so that Russia can clearly understand that these are far-reaching, severe measures. It is part of this process that we do not spell out everything in public, because Russia could understand that there might be even more to come. And at the same time, it is very clear we are well prepared with far-reaching measures. We will take these measures together with our allies, with our partners, with the US, and we will take all necessary steps. You can be sure that there won't be any measures in which we have a differing approach. We will act together, jointly.
This is a good idea to say to our American friends, we will be united, we will act together, and we will take all the necessary steps, and all the necessary steps will be done by all of us together.
Today to turning off and pulling the plug on Nord Stream 2? You didn't mention it, you haven't mentioned it.
As I already said, we are acting together. We are absolutely united, and we will not taking different steps. We will do the same steps, and they will be very, very hard to Russia, and they should understand.
You recognize someone now, Chancellor?
What do we know and what don't we know about the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 damage?
Yeah, so we know that things happened almost simultaneously. So we saw pressure dropping in both Nord Stream and Nord Stream 2 pipelines, and Nord Stream operators said that actually there is no clue. They cannot say, it's impossible to say when flows can resume through the pipeline. We see there are some gas leaks. They were detected in the Danish and Swedish exclusive economic zones. Germany said it's investigating. Denmark said it is stepping up security at its energy facilities. We don't know the reasons. We don't know what is the actual impact of those leaks. So there is still a lot being investigated.
Yeah, a lot to discover, a lot to understand about what has caused this then, Vanessa. What does this mean for energy markets? I just highlighted a jump in the benchmark energy price in Europe today. But is that because it's telling us something about the future and the chances of seeing supply restored? Because both of these pipelines are idled at the moment.
Exactly. So let's remember, both pipelines are idle. Nord Stream was halted. The flows through Nord Stream were halted earlier this month. And also Nord Stream 2 has never sent any gas to Europe after Russia started its war in Ukraine. And so actually there is no impact on gas supplies to Europe. There is no impact. But look, the markets, traders are already tense. The situation is tense. Markets are really tight. And that just adds to this situation, to this bullish moment. And now that we know that it's impossible to say when Nord Stream flows will resume, that is something that adds to this nervous.
Is thought to be behind 3 leaks in the Nord Stream natural gas pipelines connecting Russia to Europe. Gas bubbles have formed in the Baltic Sea off Denmark and Sweden. The Danish military has released these images of the gas bubbles. The leaks were first spotted on the radar of a passing ship. Denmark has since banned shipping from the area and imposed a no-fly zone. The Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines run from Russia to Germany. Neither is in operation, although both did contain pressurized gas. The Kremlin says it's extremely concerned about the leak. Now, Poland's Prime Minister has called it an act of sabotage without providing any evidence. And Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says sabotage is indeed a possibility.
We cannot rule it out. It is too early to draw conclusions yet. But this is an extraordinary situation, an unusual situation. And there are 3 leaks, even with some distance between them. And that is why it's hard to imagine that what's happening is a coincidence.
Now, our political correspondent Thomas Barrett joins me now. Thomas, what are you hearing from the German government officially and maybe unofficially about these leaks?
The same line of caution that we heard from other European officials, that it's essentially too early to conclude what exactly is behind those leaks. But what we are hearing as well, not only here in Germany, but also from other European countries, is that the extent of the damage seems too large for it to be accidental or coincidental. And that's why you're hearing from officials saying that there's a possibility that this could have been an act of sabotage. But again, it is still too early to really conclude what was behind those leaks. There are crisis teams meeting in different parts of Europe to try and understand what exactly happened and also what could be the impact, the political but also the economic impact of these leaks on the Nord Stream pipelines, the Nord Stream 1 and the Nord Stream 2 pipelines.
Now, how difficult...
Russia invades. That means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Will you commit today to turning off and pulling the plug on Nord Stream 2? You didn't mention it, you haven't mentioned it.
As I already said, we are acting together. We are absolutely united, and we will not taking different steps. We will do the same steps, and they will be very, very hard to Russia, and they should understand.
Nord Stream operator says the leaks could bring unprecedented damage to the pipelines through the Baltic Sea. Well, to get more on reaction from the European Union, now let's bring in France 24's Dave Keating in Brussels. Dave, first of all, what kind of reaction has there been from there so far?
Well, we've had a statement from Commission President Ursula von der Leyen saying she's spoken with the Danish Prime Minister, who has said this was a deliberate act of sabotage and said that any such act would meet with a strong response. We know that from scientists, they've said that these explosions, which affect the two Nord Stream pipelines, so the one that's been in use for a long time but Russia shut off recently, and then the one that was constructed but Germany canceled its inauguration, those explosions happen in 3 spots. The Danish waters are waters that Denmark controls economically. There is still some gas in those pipelines, even though they're not currently delivering gas to the EU for technical reasons. So, of course, the big question is, if this was man-made sabotage, who did it? Obviously, the first instinct here is to think that it was Russia. There are various explanations for why Russia would have done this, but really in the long term, it doesn't seem to make very much sense. This is, after all, effectively Russia's pipeline, and it is the main vehicle with which Russia delivers gas to the European Union. They cannot send that gas anywhere else. The pipelines only go to Europe. Russia doesn't have the capacity to liquefy the gas and send it somewhere else. If the gas doesn't go through this pipeline, they have to burn it and lose billions of dollars a day.